Buen tiro.
I couldn't do that. Could you do that? How can they do that?
Who are those guys?
Uncommon Sense with the Senior Delinquents. May I introduce Maiden Marian? May I introduce Maiden Japan? May I introduce Made in China?
Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to more adventures with the Senior Delinquents. This show is about China, or as President Trump would say, China. I'm Dennis Silvers right here in Las Vegas, and I'm joined by my great co-host, one of the most creative people I've ever met, producer, director, Jamie McWilliams, who's in the Sunshine State of Florida. So, trying to find something today that's not made in China is almost impossible, Jamie.
And Dennis, this hat, which is referenced in Las Vegas, actually is made in China. But it's held up pretty well. Maybe that's when China actually made things well.
Yeah. I've got to tell you, I have been to China. I spent 2 weeks there, and I got a firsthand view of exactly what's going on with them. The word sanitation, once you get out of the big cities, Jamie, does not exist. You go out to restaurants and rural areas, you see people getting off of buses on the highway to go in the bushes to do their business. You go to restaurants, they have no toilets. They've got a hole in the back for you. And this is something they really, really need to get up to speed on. Would you agree?
I would agree, especially if you have bad knees. That's really could be rough. Or you're 95 years old.
You're right.
I've never encountered that.
You're right.
Well, I have not been to China, but my rude awakening came when I had to do a national safety program, and I had my office up in the Princeton area, and I would drive every day up Route 1 North, and you could see in the Trenton area to the right, nothing but factory after factory. But when I had to do the show, it required some shooting in a factory, and quite honestly, there were no factories.
Wow.
The fact become warehouses, distribution sites, or boarded up. That made me realize that as a country, we had pretty much given up our manufacturing industry. In light of where we are now, you realize how important it is to get something made in America again.
Absolutely correct. China they get a goodly number of tourists there, such as myself, and it was quite an experience. And they sell all sorts of tchotchkes, as you know, everything from jewelry boxes and stuff. I bought some ivory there, and I don't know if ivory is supposed to turn green on you when you get it home. And you put a towel over it, and the damn thing fell apart. It's very disconcerting.
Well, they said that some of George Washington's false teeth were made of ivory. I hope they weren't from China then. I don't remember having green teeth. Here's just one example of a similar experience. We had bought for our lanai, living here in Florida, pretty expensive and very attractive set of furniture, which included a table and 6 chairs. And do you know, after just 2 or 3 years, and we only have pretty much family and a few friends coming down here to visit, but Dennis, it started to fall apart.
Oh, wow.
Now, I had some examples I'm showing you of the deterioration, but notice there's a bench behind the table made in the USA, very expensive, to replace chairs which literally had unraveled to the point that there were nothing but metal structures that had to be thrown out, which is what my wife did. The durability of Chinese products is really something that you have to wonder about. It may look great coming out of the box, but there's a good chance that cardboard box will ultimately last longer than the product you thought was so good from China.
I totally agree with you. I brought home a couple of shirts that were very, I thought, well designed. And the problem is, Jamie, you get them dry cleaned one time and they either start becoming a rag or they shrink so much you can't get them around you. What can we do about that, Jamie? What do you think should be done?
What should be done is products being made in the U.S. Another example of Chinese ingenuity, quote, thievery. I had done a program introducing the first Christmas LED lights in the country.
Wow.
It was developed by a person out in California. I did their first marketing videos. They gave me a big bunch of LED lights to put up on my house, which my son did on his break from Penn State, where he was a student at the time. And it looked wonderful.
Oh, I'm
But
sure it did.
here's the catch-22, Dennis. These companies go to China to say, we need to make this product at a very competitive price, but they have to give these people in China the plans to say, tell me how you would do it.
Right.
Catch-22 comes in when they say, oh, here's how we would do it, but you find out that how they're really operating behind the scenes is how they can do it cheaper and end up doing knockoffs of your product. They spent more money fighting lawsuits for infringement of their product, but they could not fight it except in the U.S. Try fighting a lawsuit in China for a company which you gave the specifications to, and now they're undercutting you and knocking off your product, and not only just knocking it off, but putting out a piece of junk to replace it. So when you
Exactly
say,
right.
what's the solution, you kind of can figure out what the only solution really should be. But Dennis, the problem with having all these great looking Christmas lights is that we had people coming to our house to look at them, and guess what happened next year? They came back, and guess what they didn't get to see? The lights. They came, they saw, and they were pissed off. Where are the lights?
Well, I'll tell you, if any of our viewers have had experience with any of these products that they've gotten from China or bought here that is made in China, let us hear about it, because you can always get us at info@seniordelinquents.com, which is our email. But now, Jamie, as you know, we're on 2 new platforms, so we'd like people to watch on Rumble, and we're also on Getter. Very cool, Jamie.
Just starting. It might take a little time,
Just
Dennis,
starting.
but we're going to be putting the shows up there. We're going to be putting promos up there. We want people to become senior delinquents like us, have fun with it, let you express your opinions with it, and especially let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's exactly right. And don't forget our website, seniordelinquents.com. Jamie's got all of the shows listed, plus separate segments of some of the funniest stuff for our shows. And we're also now have our own YouTube channel. So if you miss any of it, it's going to be there. You could watch us at any time. So it's all good, Jamie.
It's all good, but I'll tell you, Dennis, before we go, there's one thing that I just
have to get off my chest.
What?
This is a newspaper. I get the electronic newspaper just so I know what's going on, but despite that, they still send me the regular newspaper. And this is from the Sunday edition, a whole section devoted to the pandemic. Itemized, here are all the latest guidelines from the CDC. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do that. I'd like to offer my guidelines.
Go ahead.
2 words. Ignore it.
I like it. I'm going to ignore it, and I hope a lot of our viewers ignore it as well. That's very good. Well, another great show, Jamie, and it's always a pleasure being with you. Interesting topic today, and look forward to getting together soon again.
And Dennis, because it is China, I've used a special Chinese glass for my cocktail, and instead of olives, I have lychee nuts. Hopefully not lychees nuts or ping pong balls, but this is my sign off. So until next time, my friend and compatriot, hi-ho, Silvers.
Bye.